Hello guys, it's J Arius, the Aquarius with my Relatable Revival, and today I want to talk about the orcas in the orca kingdom and how we go back with the whales and the orcas, the dolphins, the Syrian spiritual elite. They seeded the dolphins, orcas, and whales from Sirius here on Earth. When, they also seeded the Red Ancestors, the Red Nation Ancestors, right? Red Nation Ancestors, yeah. And I want to talk on orcas because, first of all, I've had a past life as an orca. Second of all, I've always felt like I've watched the Blackfish documentary, which will pull out your heart. And I've also watched Free Willy. And I also got into the actual orca about Free Willy. Like, I became a fan of Willy, and I found out, that they tried to release him back into the wild and it didn't work. Just because orcas and humans and whales, we have a lot more in common than we have different. So today I'm talking about orcas. There's as a spirit animal, spirit totem animal, and basically their mission. So what are the orcas here? Okay, so the basic facts, and then I'm going to get into why they're here, how they help Earth descent. So basic facts. So orcas, most of them, if they are in the wild, their lifespan will be about 50 to 80 years. The scientific name is the Delphinidae family, which is basically, they're the largest member of the dolphin family. Their predators are humans, because they are the top predator of the ocean. Other names for them are, again, killer whale, because ancient fishermen and boaters called them this because they ate other whales and other sharks. And their origins, they are Sirius starseeds. And their weight is around about 22,000 pounds. The food that they eat are other whales, sharks, fish, porpoises, but not humans. They don't eat humans, though. And then another name for the killer whale is blackfish, as in that documentary. So I have this app called Newsbreak, and I saw that there were some orca attacks that are going on that have been happening since like 2020, 2021. And I just thought it was interesting because I've been working with the Lemurian seed quartz crystal, and I actually had a past life as a baby orca, and also as a past life as me taking care of orcas. I know that's weird. So I feel really drawn to the orcas, and this is why I'm talking about them. So basically there's a stigma getting built around the orcas, the blackfish, kind of like with the killer whale name. But orcas, as we see in SeaWorld, which is obviously so cruel and inhumane as hell for them, we see that they actually work really good with human beings. So, I want to get into the orca spirit totem animal symbolism. Maybe if you feel like an orca or a dolphin spirit guide, or you feel like maybe you had a past life too, these kind of traits and characteristics can relate to you, or these might be some traits and characteristics you want to take on, especially if you're using that animal as your totem. So, orca spirit totem animal symbolism. So, they are a symbol of spirituality. Orcas, kind of basically, orcas is in the word oracle, so they're the oracles of the sea, and we'll get into that more later on. They're associated with family. They live in pods or families, and orcas will stay with the same pod throughout their lifetime. They're very protective over their young orcas, and they'll actually raise their orca up until they're adult size, kind of like we do as humans, until they're ready to go out into the ocean on their own. Each pod has their own frequency or vibration of tone. So just like humans, each different orca pod has their own language. Kind of like some people speak Spanish, some people speak English, some people speak Japanese, stuff like that. So they're all about community. That ties in with the family. They're about teamwork. They hunt strategically together. Again, they're associated with intelligence. So they hunt strategically together in packs for foods, and they build very strong bonds with their family. And again, like the mama orcas and the daddy orcas would actually form a very strong bond with the baby orcas. They're associated with compassion. Their strength and dignity towards their pods, and again, raising their casts until they're bigger. So they're very compassionate, and they're associated with compassion. They're associated with travel because they travel very vast miles across the ocean and migrate in different temperatures and stuff like that. And for food, where is their food going? They're associated with longevity. They're also associated with being very highly adaptable, and that again goes with their intelligence and then being very strategic. And again, they're associated with protection. They are the killer. They are known as the killer of the sea. And again, they were known as the guardians of the sea by the ancient indigenous peoples at one point. So, this is your spirit totem animal. Or you could just relate with the orca energy. This is like taking control over your destiny. This is learning and adapting quick to changes in life, a skill. Like obtaining skill to get through these quick changes in life. This is about, again, if you want to try to be more supportive and be more teamwork oriented, more loyal and devoted to your loved ones, you can definitely work with the orca totem animal. And you may feel like you have like a dolphin orca spirit guide, or your higher, or one of them may, so like you may have a dolphin orca spirit guide. And what I've learned is that spirit guides are higher versions of ourselves. A lot of times, if they're not like ancestors or something like that. Or maybe you had a past life as an orca if you really feel connected to the orca as a totem or spirit animal. So, how do they assist with ascension? So again, like I said, orcas, they're part of the dolphin family. So dolphin and whales have been here basically just as long as humans have. So I'm going to read a little bit into the website Aligning with Earth, which is basically where I'm sourcing all of this from, which again, I'm always going to sit here and hype this website up if you're trying to ascend your ancestor, like your ancestry lines, your karma, your ancestors' karma, basically what I meant by that. But this website's amazing for just aligning with Earth and, understanding more of what Earth is going through and what's happening around us instead of what the government is feeding us and what they want us to know, right? So, how do they assist with ascension? So, this is screenshots sourced from aligningwith.earth.com that I'm going to read. I couldn't find a better way to summarize it up. This is coming... Asarana and Purr, they are able to channel, not really channel, but speak to Earth through, because they have mastered the language of one, which is where all of Earth's beings and species are getting to, at one point. So, how do they assist with ascension? Again, so our kingdom came to Earth with a series of goals to support ascension of Terra ahead. We helped to sustain Terra's vibration for about 1 million years. We did not have a full set of records, however, to launch Ascension. This information came unto us due to our human brothers and sisters with large craniums that launched Ascension in the early days of their presence upon Earth. We in turn retrieved our own knowledge, repairing our holographic planes, and began to ascend. So some whales and dolphins have sadly discovered that which extended into this region of domain, failed to await their return, as it has taken so very long to orchestrate. So other dolphins and whales have found a part of self, anxiously awaiting communication within. So just like humans, they're going through this battle of trying to find that voice within, trying to connect with their inner self, right? Those that have made contact with the part of self awaiting our return have aided yet others in creating that internal connection that was not initially available as they searched within. All of the map makers are therefore finding their way to the Tao within and are therefore finding their way to the tail within and are beginning to receive direct communication and guidance from the part of the self that extended into this experience long ago. So the dolphin and whale kingdom is coming to a new day of hope ahead. We are forgiving our fission thought form. Ultimately, fission thought form, anchored through combustion, caused a war between humans, whales, and dolphins. So the warfare is the result of the separation and division nature of fission. Fission seeks to separate and divide rather than reunite into greater wholeness through love. As fission thought form took off in our species in addition to yours, an unconscious war developed between the gurus upon land or the gurus under the sea. So each guru sought to destroy the other kingdom to raise itself into the light. Over time, the darkness our kingdom dispelled over humanity led to human warfare in times of famine, and it led to the hunting of our species for flesh. So this is like the war between humans, capturing whales and eating them, using them like whale oils and stuff like that for candles. And then again capturing them and putting them into the sea world. So the continued warfare upon our kingdom in the hunting of our species in present time must come to a conclusion. Humans cannot hunt our kingdom as another fully conscious species without hunting themselves. This leads to ongoing dreams of warfare that must play out in the human dance beloved. And this is the, cause and effect karma. This is how this is happening. The only way to anchor a real peace to heal the war between our kingdoms. The original cause of this war is the fission due to fable, ascension, and combustion. As we each strive to release all fission karma along with Mother Earth, then a new dream may be woven that restores peace between us. So, my past life experience as being a baby orca, I remember, specifically being a baby orca, and I remember we were in these, holographic clear kind of tanks, and, it wasn't kind of like SeaWorld. I don't think it was any time of, modern time. I want to say probably, some reason I want to say back in Sirius, or maybe even, when the first, the Syrian spiritual elite that were first seated here. Maybe I was taken care of by them, but I remember having a mommy, and I remember us having free range in the ocean, but us always coming back to this kind of holographic tank to be fed, to be cleansed, and kind of to be given to be nurtured. We were kind of given it was food, but we were also given information and certain knowledge. But I also remember in that lifetime as an orca, I was a baby orca, and I died, and I just combusted. I basically just blew up. I guess the gases inside me blew up. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, that was my experience as a baby orca. And it felt very free range, and I felt very safe, and the ocean was very warm. And I don't know what time period it is. That's where I'm blacking right there. I don't know if it was the first scene of, the ancestors with the big cranium as the dolphins call them, right? Or if I don't know if this is back in Sirius, but I really do feel one of my very first incarnations was as an orca, and I was a baby orca, and it wasn't that long of a life. So yeah, that's unfortunate. So right now in the news, orcas are getting a really bad rep. Okay, just like humans, some orcas have fell in consciousness. They're sentient beings just like us. Again, we were seated, around the same time. And I feel they're really just tired of our bullshit. I mean, think about it. A typical orca lives about the same length as a human. And if you see these fishermen coming and catching these babies within your pod and they keep disappearing, I feel like any other human, we would attack. Or, any mama, we would be in attack defense mode about our young. You know what I'm saying? I feel it's crazy to me how this is just so surprising to people that the orcas are finally, not finally retaliating, but just retaliating back. I feel even their name, the killer whale, gives them a bad name. but it's only because they're the top predators of the ocean. You know what I mean? And that's because they also too took a fall in consciousness. And I was also reading on the Aligning with Earth website that, you know, a lot of dolphins and orcas, whales now that are in the sea, that are choosing to ascend and align with the great central sun along with Earth, and to, you know, ascend to Terra, they are also choosing to eat like plankton instead of other fish and other you know, whales and sharks and flesh. So it's not just a human thing, excuse me. But not all orcas are bad. You know, like all beings, some of us have fallen, some of us are higher in vibration, but we're all just figuring it out. Again, keep orcas out of captivity. Like, that is so inhumane. Their dorsal fin being flopped over, like, that is just, I know that sounds like you're like, girl, but like, that's an unhealthy orca. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have chakra systems like we do, you know what I mean? And just like we have felon species and we started eating other flesh, they have too felon consciousness and started eating flesh like many other sentient beings. So, you know, don't let these orca attacks or whatever, unless you are out here on these boats and yachts and stuff and stealing orcas, baby orcas, or vibrating low or whatever, you know, just watch it. But like, we got to destigmatize this bad rep around the orcas that they're trying to give them, you know what I mean? And I'm not sitting here and saying that the orcas in SeaWorld that retaliated against their humans were justified all the way. I know that sounds crazy and that's losing someone's life, but again, that's like a prisoner seeing their handler, a slave seeing their handler, and wanting freedom. You know, we're all given that right. That's universal law. Is, you know, we're free beings. We have the right to choose our destiny, choose our next choice, make our next decision. But I'm done blabbering. My name is Jarius the Aquarius with my Relatable Revival, and I felt really drawn to make an orca video because, first of all, I've always been drawn to orcas. Again, I loved the Free Willy movie. The Blackfish documentary literally had me in tears. I watched it like 3 or 4 times at least. I just don't agree with the SeaWorld shit at all. It's inhumane as fuck. I'm just for the orcas, and I want to help destigmatize this name and this rep they're getting with humans. Just because they're retaliating. Like, us humans, we have, like, you know, I read in our ascension, well, they told us through the language of one, through ascension, it's been this war with as long as we keep captivating them, as long as we keep putting them in capture, as long as we keep eating their flesh, it's going to persist in their world. It's just going to keep going on. So the change starts with you. And again, this is Jarius the Aquarius with my Relatable Revival. If you like this, give it a good like. Subscribe if you like content like this. I have all kinds like starseed videos and videos like how to heal, you know, chakras, how to work with your chakras. I have a lot of videos about, like, you know, just the mental awareness. And I have so much more content that I'd like to put out. But thank you so much for commenting and sharing, and I hope you guys have a wonderful night.